The image quality setting of our camera controls two aspects of image capture. The first is the type of file captured. The second is how much information is captured within the file. Your camera will allow you to choose a file type. The two most common file types available for image capture include JPEG file and RAW file. Once selected, your image file will end in this particular file extension. Let's talk about each file in more detail. It is likely that you have been photographing using the JPEG file type. JPEG is a highly compressed file. JPEGs are best used for posting images on the web or emailing image files. A JPEG is not the best choice for image capture due to the compression factor. Because the file is compressed, important data is lost. Additionally, every time a JPEG file is opened and resaved, the JPEG image file declines, meaning further data is lost. JPEG files are poor file choices for editing and printing. If you intend to post your images on the web or email a file to a friend, a larger, more superior file type, such as a RAW file, can always be converted and copied into a JPEG file. RAW file types or camera RAW files are superior files for image capture and editing. By shooting a RAW file, you are capturing the most amount of information possible with your camera. RAW files may need to be opened using a software provided by the camera manufacturer. However, most RAW files are easily opened with Adobe Lightroom Classic or Adobe Photoshop. Depending upon your camera manufacturer, your camera will record your camera RAW file with a unique extension. See the list in the slide for common RAW file types associated with common camera manufacturers. Also, take note of the DNG RAW file type. DNG is the superior RAW file. Some cameras allow you to capture DNG RAW files. If you have this option, definitely select DNG RAW. If you don't have the DNG option, not to worry. Later, when we import our RAW image files into Lightroom, we will convert all RAW files to DNG RAW files. DNG stands for digital negative, and this is Adobe's proprietary free RAW file type. This means any camera manufacturer may use the DNG RAW file type for free. It is open source. Adobe produced DNG in hopes of standardizing all RAW files. There are actually 3 good reasons to shoot or convert RAW files to DNG. DNG files are approximately 20% smaller than other RAW files, however, no data is lost. DNG RAW files will ensure the file can be opened in the future with Adobe applications. Edits made to a DNG RAW file can be saved within the file, while other RAW files require a sidecar or secondary file to save any edits or changes made to the RAW file. We will talk more about DNG files when we begin image editing later in our course. All students in the course will shoot in RAW capture, and I will explain in a moment how to change your file type to RAW. Even though all students will be shooting in RAW, each photographer will actually end up with a different image size. The reason being is that cameras have different sensor sizes. An image of the camera sensor can be seen inside of the camera body to the left in this slide. The lens is off the camera and the shutter release button is engaged, which means the shutter and camera mirror have reflexed upward out of the way to reveal the sensor. If you ever see your sensor, it is important to treat it with great care, as it is extremely fragile and should never be touched. The sensor is the basis of all digital photography. This rectangular silicone-based sheet of semiconductor material that sits just behind the camera shutter door consists of millions of light-sensitive sites called photodiodes. Each light-sensitive site is equivalent to 1 pixel. A pixel is the smallest unit that makes up a digital image. Each light-sensitive site collects a pixel of information. The larger your sensor, the more photodiodes you have, and the more information your camera records, which results in a finer image quality. To set your image quality, hit the menu button on your camera. Once you enter the internal menu, locate the shooting menu, which is usually represented by a camera icon. Use your touch screen or buttons at the back right of your camera to toggle to image quality. Select RAW and hit OK. You will need to shoot RAW for all projects in this course, so go ahead and change your file type to RAW now. If you have different RAW file sizes as options, choose the largest size possible.